Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hello again, grade 9 students. Welcome to our lesson today, module 3, lesson B, students book, page 33, workbook, page 28-29, grammar and lesson. These are the learning objectives which you are going to achieve by the end of this class. First, join sentences using the appropriate relative pronouns or adverbs, and then respond to some questions after listening to a part of a university lecture. Could you please open your student's book, page 33, grammar, relative pronouns. These are the relative pronouns who, which, that, and whose. Relative adverb, where. Read the examples below. What do the words in blue refer to? Here we have some sentences with words in blue. Now we are going to pause the video, read the sentences, and find out what each of these words refers to. Go ahead. Okay, now number one, what do you think the word who or that refers to? Excellent, it refers to the people. Now what about the second sentence? Which or that? What does each of these words refer to? Very good. Pair of boots. They refer to things. Now what about the next one? Excellent. Which and that here refers to the word a word. Now what about the word where? What do you think it refers to? Wonderful. It refers to the school, a place. And the last one, what does the word whose refer to? Very good. It refers to the man's house. Well done, students. Let's move on to exercise B, students book, page 33. Read the examples again and complete the rules. Now, could you please pause the video, go back to the examples, read them, and try to complete these rules. Okay, number one, what do we use for people? Excellent. We use who or that, as in the first example. Now, what about things, animals, and ideas? What do we use? Very good. We use which or that. Now, what about places? What do we use for places? Great. We use where. And the last one, to refer to possession. Possession means belonging, having. What do you think of this? Excellent. It's whose. Well done, students. After having discussed the previous example, let's go back to the text in students book, page 32. What you are going to do now is to pause the video and try to find more examples that have relative pronouns or adverbs in. Go ahead. Now you can check your answers. These are the examples. Let's go back to students book, page 33, and have a look at this note. We can omit who, which, and that when they refer to the object of the verb. The object of the verb usually comes after the verb. Let's have a look at this example. The girl who or that we saw on the bus is my cousin. Here we can omit who and that. We can say, the girl we saw on the bus is my cousin. Why? Because the girl here is the object of the verb so. Let's have a look at more examples. For example, Ahmed phoned the man we met yesterday. We met whom? We met the man. So the man here is the object of the verb. In this case, we can omit who or that. Let's have a look at another example. I bought the car which or that I saw last week. In this case, we can omit which or that. Why? Because the car here is the object of the verb so. In this case, we can omit it. For more information about relative pronouns, you can go to students book, page 69, and have a look at the notes here. Let's move on to exercise C, students book, page 33. Complete with who, which, that, whose, or where. If they can be omitted, put them in brackets. So now you are going to pause the video, read the sentences, and try to complete them using these relative pronouns or adverb. If they can be omitted, just put them in brackets. Go ahead. Number one, please. Yes. Great. It is where. Why? Because here we are talking about a shop. It's a place, so we use where. Now what about number two? Excellent. It's which or that. Why? Because here we are talking about a shopping center. Something which has 3 bookshops. So we use which or that. Now the next one. Excellent. It's which or that. Why? Because we are talking about dictionaries. Dictionaries is thing. So we use which or that. Why we put them in brackets? Because we can omit which or that. Why? Because we are talking about dictionaries which you can use. You can use what? You can use dictionaries. So dictionaries here is the object of the verb use. In this case, we can omit which or that. Now what about the next one? Excellent. It's where. Why? Because here we are talking about a place. Now what about this one? Very good. It's whose. Why? Because we are talking about the relationship between the friend and the father. It is possession. My friend, I have a friend whose father. The father of my friend. Now let's move on to number 2. This one, what do you think this one is? Excellent. It's which or that. Why? Because here we are talking about a camera. It's thing. Why we put it in brackets? Because which camera? The camera you had. You had what? You had the camera. So the camera is the object of the verb had. If it refers to the object, we can omit it. So we put it in brackets. Now what about this one? Excellent. It's who or that. Why? Because we are talking about a neighbor, which is people. Now the last one, what do you think this one? Excellent. It's which or that as well. Why? Because here we are still talking about a camera. He also has got one which you can use. You can use what? You can use the camera. So the camera here is the object of the verb use. When it refers to the object, we can keep it or omit it. So we put it between brackets. Well done, students. Workbook page 28. Choose A, B, or C. Here we have 9 sentences. What you are going to do is to choose the correct relative pronoun or relative adverb. Pause the video and do the task, please. Now you can check your answers. Let's move on to exercise the workbook page 29. Match the two halves of the sentences, then join them with who, which, that, or where to make sentences. If the relative pronoun can be omitted, put it in brackets. Here we have 6 sentences divided into 2 parts. What you are going to do is to match each sentence to its correct completion from here, and use who, which, that, or where to join the 2 parts of sentences. What you are going to do is to pause the video and try to find out the correct completion of each sentence and join it with the correct relative pronoun or adverb. Go ahead. Now could you please check your answers? These are the correct answers. As for the relative pronouns or adverbs, for the first sentence we use who. For the second sentence we use which in brackets, because here we are talking about the object of the verb play. Third sentence we use where. Number 4 we also use where. Number 5 we use which. And the last one we use who. Good job, students. And here you can find the sentences after joining them using the correct relative pronouns. Now exercise E, workbook page 29. Here you are going to complete the sentences using who, which, that, or where with your own ideas. Now do the task, please. And now you can check your answers by having a look at these examples. Now let's move on to a new task, the listening one. Let's have this pre-listening task. Here we are going to discuss this question. What different ways are there of learning a foreign language these days? So what you are going to do is to pause the video and think of different ways by which we can learn a foreign language. Go on. Okay, now let's have this suggested answer. Well, you can make friends with people who speak language. You can also read books, magazines, blogs, listen to the radio, and watch TV series online in the language that you want to learn. Let's move on to the while listening task. Here we are going to listen to a part of a university lecture about new trends in foreign language learning. Take the topics that are mentioned. Here we have 4 topics: memory training, online gaming, speaking with robots, and learning platforms. What you are going to do is now to listen to a part of a lecture and take the topics that are mentioned. Here we go.
4. Listen. B. Listen to part of a university lecture about new trends in foreign language learning. Tick the topics that are mentioned.
On many language courses these days, old and new methods and technologies are often used together in what is called blended learning. Students may still carry books to lessons, but growing numbers of classrooms are fitted with interactive whiteboards, which do not only show what is printed in the students' books, but also present extra multimedia materials to improve the learning experience. In addition, a variety of learning platforms are available, which let students connect with their school and with each other from a computer or phone. Learners can work together online after school, or at the weekends on projects, can check out projects made by other groups, and can post comments on one another's work. What's more, it's easy for them to find their homework, type it, and upload it for the teacher to see. Nowadays, no one can say they didn't know what the homework was. Many young people have their own reasons for learning another language outside their formal education, and make their own efforts to do so. The present generation of secondary school students was born and has grown up in the digital age, and as digital natives, often use foreign languages, especially English, outside the classroom for real communication. For instance, a young person in one country might be involved in multi-user online gaming with players in countries throughout the world, all speakers of different native languages, but all communicating in English. In other words, they have their own reasons for, and own ways of, learning a second language. This means that language learning is something that doesn't just happen in the classroom, but also doesn't just happen because English or Russian or Arabic is one of the subjects you have to learn at school. Another aspect of
Now, which topics have been discussed? What do you think? Excellent. Online gaming and learning platforms. Very good. And these are the sentences which refer to them. Well done, students. Let's move on now and go to a while listening task, Students Book, page 33. C. Listen again and answer the questions. Choose A, B, or C. Here we have 3 questions. What you are going to do now is to pause the video. Then you are going to go back and listen to the audio again to answer these questions. Go ahead. Okay, now number 1. What do you think number 1 is? What is blended learning? Excellent. It's C. A mixture of traditional education and learning through digital media. And this is the sentence which refers to that. Now, number 2, according to the speaker, how can digital technology help students do school projects? What do you think? Which is the correct answer? Very good. It's A. It allows students to work on projects together outside of school hours. And this is the sentence which refers to that. Now, what about question number 3? What do you think the correct answer is? Excellent. It's B. According to the speaker, how does digital technology encourage young people to learn another language? The correct answer is it allows them to do things they are personally interested in using that language. And this is the sentence which refers to that. Very good, students. Now, the post-listening task. What do you think of blended learning? The learning which we are doing nowadays. You can learn online and you can go to school. Is it a good idea to learn? Why or why not? Pause the video and think of this question, please. Now let's wrap up what we have studied today. In this closure activity, we are going to do as shown in brackets. Here we have 4 sentences divided into 2 parts. We are going to join the 2 parts of each sentence using the given relative pronoun or adverb. Before that, I'd like to draw your attention to this important note. It says, don't forget to omit the pronoun referring to the noun being described. In each sentence, we have a pronoun referring or going back to the noun being described. What you are going to do is you should omit this pronoun. Now, could you please pause the video and join these sentences? Go ahead. Okay, now let's do the first one. I met the player, he scored hat-trick. Join using who. What do you think the correct answer is? Brilliant. It's I met the player who scored hat-trick. Here, notice that we omit the pronoun he. Why? Because it goes back. It refers to the noun being described. Now, could you please check your answers for the rest of the sentences? That's all for today. Thank you for watching. See you later.